in 4 years after I was, no, it was when I was called to preach. I was preaching a revival here. Several people got saved. In the Sunday morning service, Brother McGlone went and preached at Oakland, and I stayed here to preach. Young preacher. And as we were bringing the message, Roger stood and cried until the tears were wetting the floor. He didn't move, but he stood there and cried. Brother Kibby was singing in his big booming voice. And there was a lady named Patty McGlone. All the area around here knew her. She was in an accident when she was young, ended up in a wheelchair. And she was in a wheelchair in here that day with her mom and dad and sisters and brothers with her. She was sitting in the aisle. And all of a sudden I looked up when I started giving the invitation. And I could see her moving her hands to her wheelchair wheels. And I could see she was struggling to move that wheelchair down the aisle. Her mother got up and stood behind her, going to help her, and the Spirit evidently bid her stop. I started down toward her to help her, and the Spirit bid me stop. And Patty rolled her wheelchair down that aisle, and she fell out up there at that altar to pray, to give her heart to the Lord. I knelt to pray with her and the others that had come to pray. And all of a sudden I heard Brother Kibby's voice. Wilma! He was crying till he couldn't talk. Look who's over at the other end of the altar. And when I looked, Roger Erwin was at the other end of the altar. And he gave his life to the Lord. Kibby Jeff.